The Sports Talk, where all opinions are heard, but not always accepted. For the fans who live and die by their teams. For the fans who stay up for those extra innings. The city where going to work isn't just another phrase. Where we live and die by the next swing of the bat. Diehard fans hate us and love us. But feelings have never been held back. You are listening to Detroit Sports Talk with Brett and JT. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of DST, Detroit Sports Talk. His name is Brett Hebel, my name is JT Smelik, and today we're going to be diving straight into some Tigers-related stuff with the trade deadline just weeks away and yet to see any moves done by this pathetic Detroit Tigers team. Brett, what's going on here?
So we've got a couple of things. I mean, of course, they're just rumors, so nothing is for sure, but according to rumors, JD has gained interest from the Diamondbacks and the Rockies the most. And then Fulmer has gained interest from the Cubs, even though they just got Quintana. And then Justin Wilson, recent reports are saying that he could be going to Tampa Bay. Apparently those are the most legit talks. Not necessarily ridiculous to look at, but at the same time, you're not going to get Chapman-like return. And to go out there and say what you want in return is basically killing it even more.
Exactly. Like you know what? Why do teams even contact Al Avila? Why don't you just wait for him to do a presser? He'll tell you exactly what he wants, and if he doesn't get it, like we saw with the JV contract, we saw what he wanted. We've seen it now with the with Justin Wilson, and I mean it just keeps happening, and now you're stuck.
And even the JD trade. I mean, every team in the MLB knew that we were trying to get rid of JD because we weren't going to be able to keep him past this season. So teams aren't going to go and offer max prospects or their best prospects or whatever because they all know the Detroit Tigers are desperate. So we're going to give you something mediocre, and it's either take it or you're going to be stuck with nothing.
Exactly, and that's really hard to cope with as a Tigers fan. I know it's frustrating for you. It's definitely frustrating for me to have to watch this day after day and keep hearing these dumb reports come in. And now you got the team quitting on each other. There's errors left and right. Sloppy baseball all the time now. Alex Avila, if you traded him 2 weeks ago, you had the chance to trade him and get a huge haul. Probably the biggest haul for a hitter you could have gotten on your team. And now he's given up. He's come back down to earth on hitting, and all of it culminating with just how bad the team is itself as an entity. It looks embarrassing, and now you're going to be stuck with him. You're going to be stuck with a Justin Verlander who basically had a Cy Young type year, and now, I watched the broadcast, or I listened to the broadcast today on my way to play a game, mini golf with my dad. First thing I hear is, "Oh, Justin Verlander takes the mound today, and this is possibly going to be the last time we're going to see him in a Tiger."
Yeah, I'm so sick of hearing that.
Yeah, no, it's not. Are you kidding me?
I've heard that the last 3 starts.
Yeah. What do you mean it's the last? But what do you mean it's the last start? We've seen 3 reports now that have come out that Justin Verlander's not going anywhere. Like, he will not be traded. Like, if he gets traded, it'll be a miracle. Yeah, it'll be a miracle that we could get someone like him traded. Because Al Avila is being too arrogant, and Chris Ilitch has him basically handcuffed, saying we're only going to eat 1 year of the salary.
Yep, they said they're going to eat the remaining of this year of his salary, and that's it. They're not eating any more. And that's the main thing that's getting held up in all these deals is because teams don't want to eat that giant contract for a guy that's already past his prime and already having a down year this year.
Yep, and you just had to give it 1 more year, and so now this is what we're going to be stuck with. And one thing, I have some comments for you that I want to read to you from the Tigers ace in Michael Fulmer, and I really enjoyed these comments. I actually feel like...
I know which comments. Yeah, he came out and talked about it.
Here, let me read these to you, and let me get your thoughts on this. Okay, so this is about the trade talks. I hope if we go ahead and sell, I hope we do it all. I hope we go all out. I hope we don't sell a few young guys here. I hope we get younger. I hope we take a more business-like approach. I told David, whatever has to be done, it needs to be done. I just want to win. That's my main priority. Obviously, at the start of the year, we thought we had a very good chance to win, and we still think that. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, Al has a different approach to it now because he wants to sell everything and kind of start all over, which is fine by me. Either way, I'm good. I just want to be a part of a winning team. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I think after listening to that, which I did hear that as well earlier, but I think after listening to that, it's almost taking I think it's taking a shot at Avila in the nicest way possible.
Yes.
He's not, obviously a guy like Fulmer's not going to come out and just take a hard shot at Avila for what he's doing, even though I'm sure he probably wants to. But this is the nicest way of putting it, and he's absolutely right. I mean, if you're going to sell, go all out. We saw it in the offseason. Oh, there's going to be a fire sale. This team's going to be way different. We traded Maben, and that was it. And then we gave it one more shot again.
You know what that Maben trade is reminding me of? The JD trade now. It's like, oh, we're selling, and then they realize that no deals can get done.
Well, I was fine with the Maben trade anyways, but if you look at it from how they said it was going to be, like a fire sale, then you should have sold at least 4 or 5 of your main guys, and to sell one.
It's the same thing again.
Yeah, I mean, and we see it really sucks because JD was personally my favorite player on the team.
Mine as well.
And to see him do,
he's got favorite.
Yeah, he's got 6 hits already in Arizona.
Yeah.
5 of them are home runs.
Yeah.
One of them's a grand slam. And so he's going to be great.
He's playing meaningful baseball, and he's loving it.
Yeah, he's loving it over here. And meanwhile, we're still stuck with all these guys that don't even want to be here anymore. I mean, you got Iglesias last year who did decent, but not great, but he's doing better than he did this year. And then Kinsler did pretty good last year, playing terrible this year. Miggy's playing terrible this year. He actually did pretty well last year. Vmart looks like garbage. Let's see, Verlander looks like trash. And then you got Justin Wilson and Alex Avila who you could trade and are just, apparently you're not doing anything because you're not doing anything right because they're still here and you got less than 24 hours. And honestly, I think we'll see the same team. I don't think any other moves will get done for us.
I'm honestly starting to believe that myself. And you know what? I was surprised to see Fulmer as the one to speak up in that clubhouse. The young second-year player. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Fulmer, but Fulmer's always struck me as like the kind of guy that as much as he may be pissed off about something,
he's like a Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Doesn't really show much emotion. Just kind of goes out there and does his job.
Kind of goes back. And for him to speak out about that, I really did enjoy hearing that because that was something we all want to see them sell. But at the same time, when we hear a player actually speak up and say we need to do this, I think that sends a very strong message, as you said, to management that this is what has to get done.
Especially from a guy like Fulmer being so young and just he already understands that this team. I mean, it sucks. It really does suck. I mean, Fulmer sucks for Fulmer, but he wasn't here during our little window when we had a chance. It would have been great if he was, but at the same time, now reality is hit. The window's closed and it's time to sell. And it's not time to sell one guy. It's time to start over. And Fulmer's not getting any younger. And, he's entering the prime of his career, and he wants to spend the prime of his career competing for a championship. He doesn't want to be like JV, where JV, he made it to 3 World Series, but didn't come out with any wins. I mean, that looks great on your resume, but at the same time, he was still 0-3 in World Series. So Fulmer wants to get at least one title, and, I mean, he wants to do it here, but if not, then he's going to go elsewhere because he doesn't want to waste the prime of his career. It's not worth it.
Exactly. And, I imagine what it's like, the tension in that clubhouse. I can only imagine how quiet it is.
Yeah, well, I saw reports yesterday that said it makes for a quiet clubhouse because nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
There's rumors about basically every Tiger that's...
I know.
I mean, Kinsler, Iglesias, Miggy, Avila, Verlander. I mean, even Upton's been in some of the trade talks. Zimmerman has been in some of the trade talks. Fulmer's been in some of the trade talks. So a lot of it's just random BS rumors that people make up just for the sake of making up. But you really never know with Al Avila, honestly.
I know. But, I don't know. It's like, with Fulmer, I could only imagine what some of, the veterans feel about those comments. I'm backing him 100% here.
Absolutely.
He reminds me of, Chris Sale when Chris Sale was, fed up with the White Sox organization. He's like, you guys are out here doing promotions. We're one of the worst teams in baseball.
Yep.
Why don't you focus on winning?
And then you saw how that worked out for him. He's with the Red Sox.
He left, and you know what? He is a stud there.
Yep.
And so I feel like he's literally like Chris Sale, and he's a nicer way of what Chris Sale did from cutting up the jerseys, just giving that comment. But I can only imagine, people like Vmart and Miggy and just, those veterans that have that old style way of playing. I can only imagine how they feel about those comments. I don't think they're very happy with them.
No, I mean, it's just frustrating all around. I mean, we saw it what was it? I think it was 2 or 3 years ago at the end of the season when Iglesias and McCann got into it in the dugout and they started arguing because they knew they weren't gonna, they were coming down the stretch and they were, choking down the stretch and they realized that the playoffs were kind of drifting away and tensions got high and it just, that's how it is. To play baseball, you don't want to lose. You want to win. You want to make the playoffs. And to not make the playoffs again this season and to hear all these rumors left and right and nothing actually happening, you got bad management. I mean, it's tough. It really is tough.
You know what is quite amazing, though? The fact that in all of this, Brad Ausmus kind of like, for me at least, is going on the back burner of people that I'm pointing the finger to. Because as of right now, I'm looking at Al Avila and Chris Ilitch. Those are the two.
Or, in my opinion, I don't even look at Ausmus anymore because
I don't.
He should just be gone already.
I know. Like in my mind, you know what? I'm like, this team's done. You do whatever you want for now because I have to fix this management first because I'm not going to have good players on that field for you to mismanage. If I had some decent players on that field for you to mismanage, then I'll take care of you. As of right now, you can continue to lose us games because I don't give a shit anymore. Yeah. But Al Avila and Chris Ilitch are embarrassing this town. Chris Ilitch is basically he's embarrassing his father's legacy. His father wanted to bring a title to this city, and now that he's gone. We knew that the payroll was going to fall, but at the same time, at least do it smart and give the fans an honest rebuild, one that they can actually get behind and know that they're getting young prospects, not just cutting the payroll so it can go from red to black for you.
Yeah, rebuilding isn't fun. It never has been fun. It never will be fun. But it gets
fun. It does get fun.
Yeah, eventually. But you got to do it the right way.
Exactly.
And to do it the right way is not how we're doing it now. It's not just trading for the sake of trading. It's like, hey, we got prospects. The word prospects will make the rebuild easier. No, that's not how it works. Prospects are very hard to make sure they try to pan out the way they do, and it takes a lot of recruiting and a lot of faith and confidence in these young guys, and a lot of teaching correctly and knowing when to bring them up and down and stuff like that. And with what we have right now, it's not going to happen. Yeah. And if you do it the right way, it can end up, 5-6 years from now, we could already be back in, title contention. But now it's looking like, who knows how long it's going to be.
I couldn't tell you.
Because, the prospects we're getting back, I think the 3 we got from JD aren't even projected to make it to the MLB. No. And, at that point, you might as well just kept JD.
Yeah, I know. And, at that point, we might, if those could be it. That's it. Those are your 3. There's the rebuild.
Yeah.
The JD Hall.
Honestly,
save Detroit.
In my opinion, right now, it's looking like we're not going to be able to rebuild until JV retires a Tiger, Miggy retires a Tiger, Victor Martinez either retires or we just let him go.
As of right now, you're basically going to go through, I think, 3-4 years of just terrible baseball. Get your high draft picks. And that's about it, is draft.
And literally just hope for the best, fingers crossed. It's already getting tough to watch Tigers baseball. And, us Tigers fans, especially us growing up, we're so used to Tigers winning. I think since I've been really interested in baseball enough to where I could understand and comprehend the game, I don't think we've really had a losing season besides last season and this season. And, to see this coming down the road, it sucks. I'm not used to it, but at least we understand. We see the light at the end of the tunnel. We know how to make it work. And to see Avila up there doing what he's doing, it's really frustrating in my opinion.
Yeah, it is really frustrating. And I like the point you brought up about you and I haven't ever really seen bad Tigers baseball. 2 years ago, I'm going to call that bad Tigers baseball. Last year, I think it was a bad Tiger. These 3 years,
from now. But
yeah, but no, we've been spoiled. We got one of the best hitters of all time. We got a stud pitcher, future Hall of Famer. We Prince Fielder. We've
had superstar after superstar.
We were blessed with having an owner who wanted to win as badly as the fans.
Arguably the best owner in all of sports ever.
He was a fan. It was not a business to him.
Yep.
It was like he owned his real life version of the show, and he wanted to make his dream a reality. And sadly, we fell short. And now we're just embarrassing his name. They should just take that flag that says Mr. I up and just pull it down because they're not honoring him in any way.
Yeah, it really sucks. And a lot of us saw it coming when he passed away again. It really sucks. Rest in peace to him. But at the same time, you still gotta it's reality. You gotta do something. He can't do it anymore. Now it's time for somebody else to step in. And he's already done it throughout his career. All you got to do is look at his career and basically step for step how he did it. And I mean, to have it right there and not even go with the blueprint.
You have the blueprint.
Right. And to not even use it just doesn't make any sense to me.
It's not a complicated blueprint.
Yeah, I mean, literally, we could do a better job managing and being the GM of that team than they're doing right now.
It's not a complicated. Look at what the White Sox are doing. Like, okay, everyone.
They have 10 of the top 100 prospects in baseball.
Yeah, that is staggering. And that team. Okay, so I've talked to some Tigers fans, and they tell me the White Sox. Look at. Pathetic the White Sox are, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'd rather be a White Sox fan right now. I'm like, in a few years that team's going to be full of studs.
Yep, and people thought they were crazy for trading Chris Sale. No. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. He wasn't happy, move on. I mean, you have a cancer in the clubhouse, and you have the chance to get a ton of good prospects. I mean, they got the number one prospect in baseball in return for that, and now he's in the majors already. And I don't know how he's doing. I haven't really paid attention to the White Sox, but I mean, he's got time, honestly. And you got 10 of the top 100 prospects. I wouldn't mind being in that position. They did it right. I mean, they've sucked for the last couple of years, but I mean, hey, get ready because that's about to be us for the next 4 or 5 plus years.
Yeah.
So,
oh man, Tigers baseball at its finest. Here come the Tigers. I love watching those. It's the best thing to ever do. If you're ever bored at home, go on any sports page on Facebook or just anywhere. Find the Tigers fans that defend this team because it is amazing.
It's pitiful.
People tell me Zimmerman's on the verge of being great. I'm like, you know what? Zimmerman's a player that an injury took his career from him, except the fact that he will never be what he once was. He will not be a good pitcher. The Tigers organization, people don't understand why J.D. Martinez got traded. They said we can still do it. There's still, 80 games left? 60 games left? What don't you understand that it's over?
Yeah, the one thing that irritates me the most is when I see fans, or even when I see people write articles, when the Tigers go on like a 3-4 game win streak.
Don't say anything more than 4 because we know they won't ever get past that.
Yeah, but even when they're going on a 3 or 4 game win streak, I see articles and I see fans like, guys, look at this. After we traded JD, I think we went on a 4 game win streak, and people are like, look at this. You keep JD. I mean, look, we have a chance. We're not even that far out, and then we start sucking again.
We sweep we finish the series against the Twins, take the 3rd game. And then we go. We face the White Sox and sweep them. Look, we're back in it. And then it's like you don't understand how baseball works.
I cannot. That's one thing that frustrates me to the max is when I see us go on a little win streak because it's happened like 3 or 4 times throughout the season. We've been totally awful, and then we win a couple games, and we're 5-6 games out instead of 8-9 games out, and people are seriously looking at it like, wow, we can keep this up. No, it's not going to happen. We played garbage teams, and we got lucky. I mean, it's not the offense shows up every other night.
I'm waiting for the article. Tigers take 2 out of 3 against the best team in the American League.
Should have been 3 out of 3.
Should have been 3 out of 3. Could the Tigers actually contend for a wild card spot? Shut up. Please, for the love of God, stop thinking this team has any chance of doing anything.
Yeah, it's literally over. At that point, it's just making articles for the sake of making articles.
There's someone who wants to defend that team at every turn. And you know what? You can defend them if they're respectable. This team is far from respectable.
There's nothing to defend on this team.
I had people tell me that you don't believe in the Tigers. Look at that team last year. Look how good they were last year. And I'm going to tell you a conversation I had with someone online. I said, this team is worse than they were last year. He tells me, he goes, this team last year, how can you say they're a bad team? Last year, they had Rookie of the Year. They basically had a Cy Young. Mickey batted .300. Kinsler did great. J.D. Martinez was a machine. Upton had a hot second half. And you know what I said? I said to him, look at the last series. That summed up your year. You couldn't get it done. You had to play the worst team in baseball. What was it? The Atlanta Braves. And you couldn't get the job done against a bunch of washed-up veterans who took you to school. And then you think by trading one player, acquiring no more players to help you, you think somehow the team that couldn't do it last year, after they get a year older, is now going to put it all together.
I mean, we faced the second-place Royals in the division, and I think we let up 16 runs in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
I mean, what more do you have to see to let up 16 runs in back-to-back games? And I think we scored 4. 4 was the max we scored, I think.
Do you remember not Fulmer's outing? It was his last outing a few days ago.
Yeah.
where I think we had 3 errors in the first inning.
Oh, yeah.
I think we won that game, but
I can't remember, but yeah, I know what
either
game
way,
we're talking about.
What are you doing? 3 errors in the first inning,
Yep.
and you tell me you think you can compete?
Yeah.
Okay, first off, the Tigers organization made it clear that if we're not above 500 at the trade deadline, we're selling. Oh, but the division around us isn't doing so hot. Maybe we can... No, that was the condition, above 500. Oh, but we're on a few-game win. No, the condition was above 500. We got a 4-game...
Yeah, it's
no,
just
lost
nonstop excuses. Like everything they say, you can't even believe anymore.
They go down the list. They're like, oh shit. Well, we can't use that as an excuse.
Next up on the list,
Miggy's batting better, and that's all. They just go down the list, and
Yep.
I just don't understand when Tigers fan. You know what? That's why I'm so scared that this trade doesn't happen. We don't trade anyone. You know how scary that has to be. I can't imagine going into the offseason going, what do I do from here?
No, I think we're going to be seeing that. Honestly,
I honestly agree.
sure is looking like it.
But you know what? We're going to move on. We have one more topic to get in today. There's not too much to talk about, but it's a pretty interesting topic. We were off last week, guys. So this week, we decided to talk about the Kyrie Irving rumor that he wants to be traded. Now, basically, Kyrie stated he doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to be the son to LeBron and have LeBron be the mentor who just takes care, and LeBron get all the spotlight and credit for everything done. Honestly, it's what should happen though. Like, Kyrie wants to leave. You know what? Whatever. Go ahead, man. What do you think?
Yeah, in my opinion, I saw it coming. I think a lot of people knew it was coming. Me personally, I knew it was coming. I didn't think it was going to come this soon. But at the same time, can you blame him? LeBron has basically run that team. Everybody on that team, besides Kyrie for the most part, has been what LeBron wanted. And they haven't got it done. Kyrie's in the prime of his career right now. And sure, he can make it to the finals in a weak Eastern Conference every year. But he knows just as much as everybody else knows they are not going to beat the Warriors. They got lucky one time, and then the Warriors went and added Durant.
Yep.
And so now, we saw it in this past finals. You're not going to beat them. So why stay with that team? LeBron's not getting any younger. Love's not going to help you very much. So, it's basically on you and LeBron. And LeBron keeps getting older and older and older, and he's just going to keep demanding what he wants. And, now the owner's gone, or the GM was gone, or whatever the heck it was. And, so now he wants out. And honestly, I can't blame him.
Yeah. Well, okay, so here's the thing. I wanted to break something down with you. You know what? I'm off of the wall. I got something we're doing after this segment, and it's a fun one because I have always felt this way, and my roommate felt this way, and we're in the minority on this opinion, but that's going to be my little tease for you. It's about Kyrie Irving. But back to this. Kyrie Irving doesn't want to play with LeBron. Great. You know what? It's time for LeBron. You know what? Jordan never had Pippen say, I don't want to play with you.
Yep.
So I'm just taking shots there, but to be in all honesty here, if Kyrie doesn't want to play, then you know what? Go ahead and leave, dude, because you'll be fine elsewhere. First off, be smarter about your teams though, not the Knicks. Don't go home to the Knicks. Not every player goes home. You don't have to do the LeBron thing.
In my opinion, he should go to the Timberwolves.
If he went to the T-Wolves, that team would be so sick. They would be the best team. They'd be the most exciting.
The only bad thing is you got to trade for him, and
Yeah,
the thing is they'd probably request Wiggins in return. But the only thing is, I don't know if Wiggins would want to do that, because why would he want to go back to the Cleveland Cavaliers
they treat him like
when
garbage.
LeBron basically said, we don't want you here, we want Love instead, and traded for him. So, I don't know. I don't think he'd want to go back, so I don't think the Timberwolves will work out. But Kyrie also stated at the top of his list was the San Antonio Spurs. And that, to me, would be I think that would be an awesome series against the Warriors, because we all saw with the healthy Kawhi Leonard that the Warriors can compete big time.
I don't know how that would work, just in the sense that, I don't know. I feel like if he goes there, he's just Kawhi's boy. I feel like it's all...
I don't know, because they're both like the same age.
They
and
are.
Kawhi is no LeBron. Talent-wise, he's got some similar qualities, but LeBron is a very outspoken, outgoing person. Kawhi is a very shy, kind of go with the flow type person.
He is. I mean, that's where the Spurs trade does intrigue me because I don't know how Kyrie would handle the Popovich system. Because as we've seen with LaMarcus Aldridge, that's not working out well for him. I don't know what's like. I'm really confused about the Spurs and what's going on there right now. But I would, you know what? I would want to see that happen just because I want to see what happens when Popovich and Irving meet like face to face, how that would work and translate onto the court. So that would definitely be something I would be interested in.
But the funny thing is, if he went to the San Antonio Spurs, that's yet another star leaving the East, going to the West.
But I want to ask you this: if he leaves, how sick are the Celtics looking to go to the finals?
I think they got a very real possibility. I mean, because I think LeBron, if Kyrie's going to... If
Kyrie leaves, I think the East, it's all open at that point.
Yeah, because I think LeBron at that point, it'd be LeBron and Love. And I mean, they'd get somebody in return for Kyrie, but who knows if it's going to be somebody who can help.
Or a draft pick.
But I think LeBron, you have to, in any trade, you have to get a point guard to replace Kyrie. And no point guard you're going to get for Kyrie is going to be good or as better as Kyrie. Yes. And so I think they can't even get it done with Kyrie. So whoever they get in return, I think LeBron already knows off the top of his head, hey, well, with Kyrie we couldn't beat the Warriors, so what makes me think I'm going to beat the Warriors now? So, I mean, why really even try? I got 1 year left in my deal. I'm going to go to LA next year anyway, so screw it, I'm not really going to try.
Yep. And so I'm also confused, well, not confused, but intrigued by if Kyrie leaves, does this maybe... I told you that I didn't think LeBron was leaving.
I think he will.
Yeah, I told you I didn't. I didn't think Kyrie was leaving.
Even if Kyrie stays, I think he leaves.
If Kyrie leaves, I almost guarantee LeBron has left.
If Kyrie leaves, LeBron is leaving. You can mark that down right now.
Yes, I agree. He will leave if Kyrie leaves. And then, systematically, we have watched the rise and fall of Cleveland sports within the 3-year span.
Yep. But they got what they asked for. They got a championship, so you can't complain too much.
Yep, and back to being irrelevant.
Yep.
But no, that'll be a very exciting thing to watch.
Yeah. I mean, the NBA offseason's been better than the NBA playoffs, in my opinion.
This has been
we've never seen so many superstars move teams ever. I don't think so.
This is honestly amazing. I'm going to dive right into this topic because I've been wanting to do this for a while. It slipped my mind a few times when we were discussing what we talk about.
Go for it.
Kyrie Irving. Where do you rank him in point guards?
Like how many best point guards in the league?
Yes.
I rank him top 3. And so I think, trying to think off the top of my head here, Westbrook's 1 without a doubt. I would put Harden 2. And I'm not just saying that because of their last season, their stats from last season, but I think Westbrook 1, Harden 2, and I put CP3 and Kyrie both at 3. So I'd say, top 4 technically. No,
I have DJ Augustine at 1. No, I'm completely kidding.
So that's my top
Lonzo Ball.
Top 3, top 4-ish.
Okay. Well, let me go through here and give you some names here. Mario Chalmers, Michael Carter Williams, Stephen Curry. I'm completely kidding. I'm sorry. This is a fun topic. There are a lot of point guards. I'm just looking at a point guard list.
So what would your top 3 be?
My top 3.
I'm assuming since you asked that, it's not going to be Kyrie.
I love CP3. I think he's a floor general. I think
he's the most complete point guard out of anybody.
See, that's how I judge the position. Basically, how I see Kyrie is an overrated ball handler who is a top 5 scorer in the league, but goes MIA sometimes because he tries to do too much. I really like a lot of what he brings to the table skill wise. I just feel like he didn't lead the playoffs at any one point in assists.
Okay, but then who is your top 3 then? If he's assuming he's not in there, the top 3.
Okay.
So you said Chris Paul, no position yet, but I'm assuming he's in your top 3.
Yes, Chris Paul is my number 1. That's just me personally. I love watching him. I just feel like if I need position wise for the position, I love watching this. I'm just trying to pull up a list right now because I can't think of any I can't think of point guards off the top of my head. Just give me a moment here.
Well, since since James Harden is moving over to shooting guard supposedly, technically he's not a point guard anymore. So I guess you could move CP3 up to 2 for me. Technically, you could put Westbrook is still 1 for me without a doubt. Westbrook number 1 point guard.
Okay. What Westbrook I'll put at 2, and then It's so hard to say Curry because it's like the fan.
Curry's top 5 for me, but he's not top 3.
I don't know.
Just because he doesn't play defense. I
don't know. It's hard because I feel like that team, because like you can give it to everyone and they can just chuck up a deep 3.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at a list right now. John Wall. Let's just take a break from this real quick. John Wall. I hated him. I really didn't like him. Wasn't a fan of the comments he made about Reggie Jackson and stuff. But you know what? I give him damn credit for last season about how well he played. You know what? Going forward, I'm going to put... Here's my bold statement of the year. John Wall's my 3rd best point guard. Because he was a machine. He was getting it done on both ends of the court. He was making his team better all around. And he played his ass off even when they lost.
The only thing is, like... That is technically a bold statement, but it's not as bold as you make it sound. I mean, John Wall's definitely, to me, he'd be my 6th, 5 or 6.
Yeah, I know he's up there.
He'd be top 5, top 6 for me. But the thing is, just like you said about Kyrie, he goes MIA sometimes.
He does.
I mean, in the playoffs, we saw Bradley Beal and John Wall could never have a good game together.
Yes.
It was either Beal dropping 30, 40 points and Wall dropping 10, or it'd be Wall dropping 30, 40 points and Beal dropping 10. So they could never get on the same page, and for that reason, I don't think Wall is as high. I mean, he's never gotten his Wizards. I mean, he's gotten to the playoffs, which you can't complain, but it's in a weak Eastern Conference, and he's never gotten them past. I don't think they've made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, have they?
No,
they've made it to the semifinals, and that's it, and lost.
Yeah. So, okay, for me...
But he's definitely a good... I mean, him and Westbrook are the 2 fastest, that's for sure.
For me, it's going to be CP3, Westbrook, Curry. I don't like Kyrie at all. I don't.
See, I like Kyrie. I like the game he plays. I like what he brings to the table. I think he's a good player. And I'm a little biased because I'm a Duke fan.
Yeah.
I like Duke. Michigan and Duke are my 2 favorite college basketball teams. And I watched him grow up at Duke. I mean, he only played 1 year, but I watched him at Duke and then go into the Cavaliers. And I just like what he brings to the table.
Honestly, at 4, I'm going to put Damian Lillard too.
Yeah.
I used to have Damian Lillard at like 1 or 2. I think he was sick, but like
he had kind of a down year.
Yeah,
last year.
he had a down.
He couldn't even get to the.
He had like an
playoffs.
MIA year basically.
Well, he did. Did he? Yeah, he did get to the playoffs. They got 8 seed.
Warriors, and then he made that dumb comment. Oh, we gonna beat them.
Yeah.
But
to be fair, he doesn't have very much help there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I mean, again, it's hard to judge skill wise though. I do think he's my 4th, and I'm gonna put Kyrie at probably 5.
Yeah.
But I just read comments all the time that I hear that, Kyrie's the best in the league.
He's definitely not the best, no.
And I just get confused by that because I'm like, I think people get mesmerized with the star power he brings. The flashy moves. He's like a controller in like a fighting game where you just mash all these, and like it looks like you're doing so much by pressing all the buttons, but in reality you're just button mashing. But I mean, like he's like breaking ankles and stuff, and it looks flashy. But I mean, at the same time, he's not getting his team involved, and that was what cost the Cavs. That was one of the biggest concerns I had about the Cavs in the finals was, can Kyrie get the ball moving?
So, what's your top 5? Rounded out your top 5 again?
Okay, so I got Kyrie at 5, I got Lillard at 4, I got Curry at 3, Westbrook at 2, and I got CP3 at 1.
It's a solid list.
I feel like CP3 is never given the respect he deserves because he's that all-around true point guard, as you said.
Yeah.
I feel like people want to.
That's why I have him at 2.
That's why I feel like people just want to see the numbers. Like a scorer, a point guard isn't supposed to be your only scorer.
Well, that's why I put Westbrook at 1. I mean, he averaged a triple-double,
Exactly.
so he got what you needed.
Yeah.
And so I'd put, assuming James Harden is going to shooting guard now, and not counting him at point guard, it'd be, so for my top 5, it'd be Westbrook, CP3, Kyrie, Steph, and then I'd put John Wall / Damian Lillard at 5.
That's not bad. I don't know. I really can't stand hearing people love Kyrie, and I feel like this is his KD moment with him wanting to leave.
Yeah, I mean,
just to the Cleveland fans.
And for the NBA nowadays, I mean, star players can just do whatever they want. It's like, hey, I want to leave. Okay, well, every team wants you, so pick where you want to go.
It's so player dictated.
Yep.
And that's so frustrating because it makes for a bad product.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think we're seeing the NBA kind of... I mean, as much as people say it's sliding downhill, I mean, at the same time, I know I'm excited for next season just because all the trades that happen. So now you got stars moving with other stars all over the place. Specifically for the West, I'm just excited to see how the West turns out. But should be an interesting season nonetheless.
We're going to wrap it up for this episode of DST, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us one more time. My name is JT Smellick.
And my name is Brett Hebel.
We'll see you next time.